Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Carrice, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Hi. Hey. What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On Hot 702.5fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Caron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
All right. You guys are tuned in live right here on hot7025fm.com. I am Carrice, and I am here with another Hotlyte. And listen, this one might get a little bit risky, but I'm really excited to get into it because, man, listen, there's a lot of controversy, I think. I would say it's a little risky. And then, too, we're talking to an author that is really kind of putting it all out there. And I told him earlier, I'm like, hey, listen, I don't know if your book is for white people or what is really going on, but we're about to talk about it right here. So I have author of I Am Not Your Black America, okay? And it is me, Shan T. FLOYD Daniels in the building. How you feeling?
Hello.
You feeling good?
I am feeling good. I am in Las Vegas. First time.
You are. Did you get rich overnight or
no? I only played $20 is all they gonna get from me.
You know what? So last week, someone played $20 and won $1.3 million.
Man, they got there before I did. Because I'm only playing $20. I'm leaving here. That's it. That's all they gonna get from me.
Right. That's it.
I'm gone.
That's all they get from all of us. Don't be fooled because it is what it is.
That's all they gonna get. Listen. My wife and I were talking. Gambling is not our thing.
I don't think gambling is any of our thing. I think that, and then too, like learning a little bit more about like the lottery and the real reason why the lottery is even there.
Right.
Payouts from like. Listen.
And I'm a numbers person, and understanding how numbers work. I'm not gonna roll in a number game. They can hang that nonsense up. Well, but I'm glad to be here with you.
I'm glad you are here, and we got a lot to talk about because
you said you got questions for me.
This is gonna get a little risky in here today.
Yeah, I like that.
So tell me about this. So you started off in Virginia?
Virginia.
Is that? Oh, that's where you were. Were you stationed out in Virginia? I believe.
Oh Lord.
No.
You got listener. You got me twisted already.
I got you
me
twisted
already and everything. You got some things.
Oh, you know what it is.
Yeah, you got all things collaborated.
I did. But I think that I think I'm looking at my notes about Jamestown.
Yes, you're looking at Jamestown.
But we're going to go back to you and where you grew up.
I think it'd be better. I think it'd be better. Let me.
Well, let me tell. Let me.
Well, go ahead. Bring me in.
So let's talk about like where you're from and then how you kind of like went over to military and things like that. I want to get into all of that too.
Okay,
so let's talk about where you're from because I think that's important based off of your thoughts and feelings that are in your book.
All right, and so I tell my story later. She wants me to start from where I come from. So for all you listeners out there, I am originally from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Grew up in Miami, stayed there for 18 years until I went into the military. My mother, Hattie L. FLOYD Daniels, actually Hattie L. Conley FLOYD Daniels, okay? And then my father, Charles Daniels, but my original seeding father is Clyde Sean FLOYD. Okay. So that helps you understand what, the name twisted there. I grew up as a very sheltered kid in a dysfunctional family. It's all in my book. I talk about it all. I drop it like a real hot in my book and everything, put it all out there. And because of that dysfunctional and being very sheltered and being a very quiet young man who wasn't involved, my mother, for whatever reason, she decided not to allow her son or any of her children to go to black churches. So growing in 1961, can you imagine growing up never going to black churches? Not one.
I cannot.
You can't imagine it, right? Matter of fact, it was so crazy. So when the Jehovah's Witnesses used to come to the door, and their mother said, "Don't let the Jehovah's Witnesses."
I think that everybody's mother said that.
But the thing is, but I want you to understand, the thing is, I thought it was us And everybody was Jehovah's Witnesses because I used to do chores on Sunday, and I used to see all these people walking all up and down the street. And I used to think as a little kid, man, there's a whole lot of Jehovah's Witnesses out here. Golly. So I was a slow kid. Just keep it one. I was just slow. I just wasn't in tune a lot of things. So in the process of all that, my mother felt that I started going down the wrong road. There was a lot of dysfunction. And I don't want to really tell a lot about my book, but in my book, I really lay out there about the dysfunction I grew up in. And that dysfunction is why I stood up to my mother, okay? My mother was the matriarch, okay? She was the one, but she was such a matriarch that I hated her. I mean, I hated my mother. And I rebelled, drinking, smoking. And so through the process of me just going downhill, and then one day I walked into the house feeling myself, feeling good. And then my mother had the nerves to try to put her hands on me. Man, I look back at her, you not about to put your hands on me.
How old were you?
I was 17 at the time, okay? And
I feel like that's the buck up age.
Listen, I bucked up, but understand, I had never spoke to my mother like that before.
Right.
So I lost my high real quick, okay? And what happened is that we had a canal in front of our house and everything, and so I ran out there to try to commit suicide. And my mother caught me, and she brought me back in the house, and she made me stay in the room and told me, you will not come out your room. She kept me from school the next day. And what happened is that that morning, my mother admitted to me that life in this house was dysfunctional. She said, my son is growing up. You are actually growing up. And she put me in the military. So from there, I went into the military. The military was the saving grace for me. I went into the military sheltered. I'm prefacing that. I was sheltered from everything. So I'm in the military in 1978. Okay. In the military, there were what we call Black Panthers. I don't know, a lot of people know the history, but the Black Panthers were being downsized during that time, during that year. And so in my platoon, there was a lot of Black Panthers, older men. They were men who had parents, had children, family, and everything. But they was it because their option was go to jail or go in the Army. So my whole platoon was older Black Panthers. So here I am, 18 years old, and whatever happened, the drill sergeant set me up, and I got my butt whipped. Okay, it's called a blanket party. Do you know anything about a blanket party?
In sororities and fraternities, there's very similar.
So that's what it's hazing, right? I got hazed big time, and I got my butt whipped, set up. But it was the best thing happened, and I grew up as a man real quick because I did not, when the drill sergeant, when he came with that brim and everything, he came and asked me, I'm standing in the squad, standing in the platoon with everybody out there, and the drill sergeant, I saw a little grin on his face. Private Floyd, what happened to you? I said, what'd you think I said to him?
Nothing.
I said, I fell out of bed, drill sergeant. He said, Private Floyd, look at you. What happened to you? And I'm still looking that way. I said, I fell out of bed, drill sergeant. He kept messing with me. So I realized, this dude messing with me. He asked me again. And what I did, I broke this and looked him in his eyes. And I said, drill sergeant, I told you I fell out of bed. And from there, he turned back at me. He said, all right, Private, let me leave you alone. He broke the squad and everything. The guys that came around me, because I was assaulted, right? I didn't snitch, as they would say. I didn't snitch on the people who done it to me. So those guys took me under their wings and everything.
That's usually how it works.
And what happened is they picked on me also. They said, "You're not black." This was the first time I heard someone tell me, here I'm looking at my skin, what do you mean I'm not black? Nah. What I realized, wait a minute, I'm not black. So my first 3 to 4 years, I learned how to. I'm going to say this to you. I'm looking at you, let you understand something. I was sheltered, quarantined, and prevented from being black, indoctrinated from being black. I learned how to be black. So it's something.
Or you're saying essentially the urban ideologies of like what that would be.
Do you understand this difference? There's a difference between being indoctrinated.
I do.
And then learning how to be something, okay? I had to learn how to be down with the brothers and that. So I had to learn how to, unfortunately, I had to learn how to talk to the women. I had to learn how to drink.
So you had no game.
Brother, they had no swag.
Game was zero.
Game was gone. And so through all that, my first 3-4 years, I learned how to get it. And
so let's get some real questions in too. So you talking about you didn't have a game. I'm gonna fast forward, but I'm gonna let you come back.
Yeah.
So what ethnicity is your wife?
See,
that's a question.
Just like a sister would ask that question, right?
That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
A sister would ask it. But
I am who I am, aren't I?
Didn't I tell you I learned how to be black?
Listen, but I'm just trying to figure it out.
I got a sister.
Okay.
That means you ain't been to my Facebook page. You ain't went to my Facebook page. I got not only do I have a sister, did I tell you I got on my game? I learned how to get game, and I learned how to pick them. I got a fine, good-looking Jackie.
I believe it, too.
Jacqueline Daniels is my wife. My queen is a sister.
I like it in you.
But I didn't. It don't mean that I didn't.
Hey, we don't know.
It didn't mean I didn't swim in other legs.
Okay, so you learned the game. You learned what the urban ideals of like what being a black young black man look like.
Yeah, be black man. Yeah, I learned all that.
But you know what? I read a snippet that said something about drinking, smoking. Something.
Yeah.
Is that? Help me understand, because is that part of being black?
See. Look at
these are questions. I got questions.
I'm talking about. I grew up in the 70s. Okay.
Me too.
So growing up in the 70s, being black mean learning how to go to the clubs, how to dance, learning how to have the women, learning how to have game. Being black wasn't going to school and trying to be the best. No. Being black was learning how to
be cool,
and how to be down, and how to be how people.
So did you learn the walk?
Oh,
because that's the part.
Oh, I got it. I got it. So I got it down. I excel. Everything I have ever done, I excel at it. Okay, I excel at it. Meaning when I talk, I wouldn't look at you when I say that. I said I was taught by old schools, never tap what you can't manage.
Okay.
No, you didn't catch what I said.
I heard you.
It's a saying by Funky Donick says, "Get in the head and the ass will follow." Oh, she didn't catch that.
I definitely caught it. I definitely caught it, and all of us did.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to all of you who are listening, and so did Miss Jackie.
My wife. My wife is the reason why I am who I am. It says a man. So he's going to go into a relationship. A man should always. I was talking to my man about this. A man should always select a woman he can always know that he can trust and depend and to do the things that the man is trying to accomplish. You should never get in a relationship with anyone. I'm speaking from a man's point of view. Should never get in a relationship with any woman who does not see value in you.
Of course not.
If she doesn't see the value in you, if she doesn't recognize the value that you bring to the table, you should. And the first thing she should value the money you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
My wife values the money I bring to the table.
As she should.
That's right. So
yeah,
you want to go on? I'm loving this.
I mean, I'm going to ask the tough questions, and we're going to see. Can we go back to your mom not wanting you guys to go to a black church?
Sure.
Like, was that something that she experienced church hurt? Because I actually kind of wrote, some things about this, like our church hurt series, and I wonder if that's why she was like, no, you're not going to a black church. Like what or were you even able to get down to what that issue was?
Yeah, it's in my book, but I explained to you quickly.
Without giving us the whole meat and potatoes.
My mother was born in the 1940s.
Okay.
My grandfather could pass as white.
Okay.
My grandmother was tar baby black.
Okay.
So the story is that my granddaddy I never met my granddaddy. He died in his 30s. My grandmother and my granddaddy had 10 children, okay? 10 they had and 8 aborted. So they had a total of 18 kids, okay? My granddaddy didn't marry my grandmother for love. He married my grandmother for meddling. He wanted his children, because I learned my grandfather was from Kentucky. The word is he might be from Louisville, I'm not for sure, is that his parents was passing as white. Because I used to see, as a little kid, who's those white people on our wall? My mother said, that's your granddaddy's family, mother and father. So they were passing as white. So my mother saw her father and her mother in the traditional. My grandmother worked as a maid. She was at Hattie, Hattie that we see, Hattie Daniels. It's funny, the last name, Hattie Daniels. My grandmother worked with the Nelsons, okay? My granddaddy had to work in the lawn, and he used to always get stopped because white people used to stop and say, well, why this white man out here doing it? My granny was not ashamed of being black.
Right.
He was proud to be black. So my grandmother saw the religion. She saw craziness in the black churches and everything. And because of that, she decided what God would put my parents through such a thing. That was what hold on, so let me get this out. That my mother I love my mother for she did that. God, when I have children, I'm not sending them to this white man's religion.
So are we saying, and I guess, and I'm gonna read it, but what are we saying, that your mom, it was no church or it was black church?
No church.
Okay, so because I think that's important, because at the beginning you said black church.
But the reason why I said black church,
me and your mom was on the same page.
Yeah. My mother said no churches. She wasn't in it. And then when she made, because I came back and asked my mother, because I'm writing this book. I said, Mom, why didn't you send us to church? Because I had to go back and get this. And when she told me, she said, I didn't like what I was seeing. Right. There's something wrong with this God to put out. I'm not going to have none of it. If there's a God, you're going to take care of my children. And boy, that's another story, because my mother, I am the only one of all her children who is financially in situation. My mother lives in Louisville. She was abandoned by my father. That's just a whole other story. But I was the only one. And my mother said, baby, I made an investment. I made an investment in you because you're the only one that loved me enough to take care of me. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
So her investment in me way back then was her saving grace today.
Right. And that's admirable. Shout out to your mom. She was she was ahead of her time. I say that because I did like.
Now, you won't say that now. I'm
going to say about that particular situation.
Okay, because when you read in the book, you're going to be coming back. Because my mom.
But I'm saying in that particular situation, and
she was ahead of her time.
And because of that, she may have had other experiences that were not pleasant. But I want to say this is that, like, I got questions too for this religious God, which I was raised in the church.
Right.
I had questions, and I did a whole 2 year of studying, traveling, and things like that to find out the truth that wasn't the truth.
Right.
And that was a whole different situation.
So all through my book, I said we have to learn how to unlearn to relearn. That's part of why. That's why I said it in my book. We have to learn how to unlearn to relearn. And I think my mother's 4 things that I told my mother that she did for good for me. 4 things. Mom, and I said, Mom, thank you for birthing me, because my real father didn't want to have me. He wanted her to abort me. My mother said no. She gave me this Meshorn. She named me Meshorn. I hated my name growing up. Oh,
interesting.
Lord. Hated my name, Meshorn. 3rd, she kept religion. She sheltered me, quarantined me from all religion. And then the 4th thing, she put me in the military. I give my mother an L for parenting, though.
Okay.
You got to read my book to understand. You got to read my book to understand. But my mother said she embraced that. But the interesting, when both my parents, because both of them, my father's still, they've been divorced now 27 years. And my father is my adopted father, or I call him my foster father. Okay, my real father passed and went on and everything. They both had, when they read my book, because I dropped some of my wife said, I wouldn't have dropped what you dropped. You dropped some stuff in it. I'm teasing y'all, right? When all y'all go read my book, right? I dropped it so hot and everything, personal stuff, that when my mother read it and when my father read it, it was because the book was therapy for me, but it was therapy for them as well, because my father said, son, it's your story to tell.
Right, absolutely.
My mother said the same thing.
Good, I'm glad. Let's talk about like going to the medical field after. First of all, what was your position in the military? Like, or your final position? I'll say that.
So let's pick up where I got out of the military. Where I got in the, because I drop off where I said I learned and got my butt whipped. Okay, and so what happened is that I went on and became a cook. My first 3 years in the military. And then being a cook, all I did is hung out with us. I mean, it was a lot of us. So I got my game, got my swagger and everything down good. So for 3-4 years, I was learning how to be cook and learning. And so after that, after I did all that, I also discovered that I wanted to, I wanted to advance myself. I was good at being a cook, but I didn't want to stay a cook. I wanted to do something that was different. So what happened is that I went to my educational person. I said, listen, since I was, no shame in my game, since women was my motivation, I wanted to go in the medical field. I said, I want to go where the ladies at. Okay, so when she looked at my score, she said, first of all, son, I don't even know how you even passed cook school, because I literally, what happened, I failed the ASVAB test. Literally, if it's such a thing, the aptitude test, I failed it. So the lady said, if you want to go in the medical field, you're going to have to go to school. Because I didn't even have my diploma. I went in without my diploma. So I was only 3 points away from getting a high school diploma. So I had to go to night school. And so I had to raise my score. But I had to score over 90, and I scored it. And so I picked out surgical technologists. Surgical technologists. Have you ever met a surgical technologist before?
I'm sure I have. I would assume. You tell us. I mean, you would be the best person to tell us what exactly it is.
Well, the surgical technologist is doctor's assistants in surgery. I assist in surgery. I actually help the doctor in doing to be able to perform the surgery that he does. I prepare the operating rooms, instruments and everything, and the cases for him to do it. And then I became good in neuro. My specialty is neuro, like Dr. Carson. Dr. Carson is a neurosurgeon. Yeah. I work with them. Some of those guys, I got some of those guys.
Here we had Dr. Hammergram, who was pretty well known for brain surgery.
Those guys are my friends, because to win them over as your friends, you have to be able to. You got to get.
First of all, any neurologist, anything that has to do with brain.
Right.
First of all, they're very special people.
Very special. Very special.
And when I say special, I'm just saying.
So I want to help you. So in the so to help you as a surgical tech, okay, in the 80s. Being a 6'1", 270 pound with my voice and everything was a problem. Okay, so the only thing that I could do is make myself good. So I became the Michael Jordan in the operating room. I'm good at what I do, and so in that process of that, I had. So you heard what I said in the military. You're not black. Well, guess what? In the operating room, I heard whites tell me the same thing, because my money, my ability to, the way I was getting paid allowed me to do things different. I wanted to do what they were doing. I'm like, what the hell are you? I mean, I can articulate, what are you doing? So I wanted to know where they were going, hanging out. And then so a couple of them started telling me, Sean, you're not black. And it was interesting. So I'm leading up to where my book.
And are we talking about articulation, or talking about the lack of information?
No.
The black people information?
No. I'm glad that you're very astute of what you just asked there.
You know what? I really do a great job at this.
Yeah, you really do. I'm going to give you props with that. You're really good. No, I'm not talking about that. What they were saying is that I wanted to go outside what they were used to seeing black folks go. I wanted to go where they were hanging out. I said, what are you talking about? I won't do this. And so they was telling me to stay in my place. I'm like, what place you talking about? I don't know what you talking about. Is there a place for me to stay? And so what I realized, since I heard it again the second time, I realized that there is a color construct to be white, and there's a color construct to be black. And I already said, I learned how to navigate being black. I also learned how to navigate in the dominant European environment. Because I learned how to navigate in the black community, I also had the astuteness or being ability to navigate in their environment, so they can see me not black, but as me, Sean. I'm me, Sean. I'm not black. I'm Sean. Okay. And so that's where, and then I found myself, I got fired from a hospital.
You got promoted.
No, fired.
You listen.
Oh, you talking about? Actually, you know what? Yeah, I like. Girl, boy, I am. Boy,
hey, listen.
You got this thing down, don't you? Yeah, actually, you're right. It was promoted. Okay. I got promoted in 2018. I actually got fired. Okay, I'm gagged, so I can't really go into all the conversation. If I'm telling you I'm gagged, I mean I came out at the top, right? Because you just said you right.
Hey, listen.
You picked that up, right?
You cast the check.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what happened? I got fired because of the very same things that I'm talking. I will not stay in my place. And what happened is the dominant European women decided to lie on me. Is almost equivalent to Emmett Till, and they decided to fire me and put a lie on me. What I want to say to you is that, and I'm glad that we're going to turn. I'm going to go right here, right now. Here's the controversy. NAB, National Action Network, punks. NAACP, punks. Urban League, punks. I asked for their help in Louisville, Kentucky. I asked for, my wife and I had to go alone. Because all those who claim, Black Lives Matter, punks. I asked for all of their help because I needed that bad. Because I went up against a Goliath, okay? And I can't mention the hospital name, but it's a Goliath. It's one of the biggest corporations in the United States.
Didn't they just get sued last year?
Oh, you know a little bit about it, right?
I just. And
I went up. I went up against them, okay? And from 2018 until 2023, so let's let you know. I just got your ching, all right? But I could not get no one black who been yelled black all the time. All these organizations that black people. And when I'm sitting there with the mediator talking about my case, the person who's mediating with me, she says, I want to ask you, Ms. Sean, why you don't have the black community standing with you? Marcus, I want to tell you, man, it was hard for me to be looking at her and tell her, ma'am, because I'm not black. I'm not black enough. I don't represent myself black enough, and I'm a conservative, unspoken, unapologetic. Been a conservative all my life. I've never been a registered Democrat. I've always been a conservative my whole entire life. I'm an independent now. All my children are grown. I'm financially, we retired. I don't care nothing about them now. I'm an independent now. But I've always been a conservative. Was an outspoken conservative, unapologetic. Okay, and I had one of the people of the NAB. You know the president of NAB is, right?
No.
Oh, you don't know who the president?
Who's the president of NAB?
Oh, you don't know?
I probably know.
Al Sharpton.
Oh, yeah.
And one of his people there.
Al Sharpton's still the president of NAB?
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody else now.
No. And one of his folks in Louisville, Kentucky, after I had won my case, gonna tell me, Sean, nobody here in Louisville, Kentucky like you. We don't like you. I said, you know why you don't like me? Because I don't roll black with you. Because I don't ride dirty. Let me say that again. Yeah. I don't ride dirty. I'm going to call you out of your... She got mad when I said that. What do you mean? You heard what I said. I don't ride dirty.
So all of that happened. You got promoted. Then you got cash from checks, right? At what point did you say, you know what, I need to start documenting some of these things?
So we are. It's funny, we jumped all in it. It was in the process of all that. So what happened? It didn't all happen flat. It happened like in the middle of what happened. I was actually writing my book in the process of that, and doing all the things that were going on. I started noticing that the Louisville attorneys for the hospital were making decisions about me because I was black. They offered me peanuts like I was ignorant. Excuse me, I'm just going to keep it 100. They insulted. I had to tell, I said, dude, me and my wife makes over a 6-figure income. what make you think that you talking to someone that go? And I started realizing that all the prior people that they had fired prior to me had already accepted these lowballs, right. And they already had a history.
Right, because sometimes, people are afraid
right.
to rock the boat.
Right.
Listen, I opened a whole radio station to rock the boat.
And what happened is because my financial situation was different, mm-hmm. and because I was a lot more astute and I was a surgical and I had already been through a few things, they didn't know. Matter of fact, I have some very good friends that they didn't know who they was messing with. Mm-hmm. And so in the middle of that, I changed the name of originally my name of my book was going to be Uncle Meshon the Conservative. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where I was going. But in the middle of going through that legal battle in there, I realized, these folks think I'm black. You know that's not the word I want to say, right? Mm-hmm. The Nigger.
You can say it.
No, well, I don't like to say it.
Okay.
Nigger, okay? They thought I was an Nigger. Mm-hmm. And so what I realized when I picked up, you haven't read the book, but it's in James Baldwin. I opened up my book with James Baldwin when he wrote the book saying, I'm not your Negro. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I got inspired by that, and that's why. Now that takes you to why mm-hmm. I wrote my book. Nice. I was inspired by saying, back to America. And now you want to ask me why I'm writing it to the dominant European. Why am my book is not written for us. I need to say that to them mm-hmm. because the fact is that I became more astute. The word astute means because I became a conscious and aware about a thing. And I realized that if we want to get our reparation, which I say reparation versus inheritance, I say we need to get our inheritance versus reparation. Mm-hmm. See, that's another show. You need to bring me on back on that because mm-hmm. I literally say reparation is outdated. That's not our conversation.
And that's not what we need is a reparation. That's definitely not what we need.
What we need.
But unfortunately, I think that they are trying to base it off of other people who term indigenous, right. And it's not applicable.
It has not. It does not apply to us. That's why I use the word. You sound like you understand why I'm saying inheritance. See, mm-hmm. inheritance is business mm-hmm. because America's a business. Okay, mm-hmm. America made some business moves. Okay, mm-hmm. they made business moves about why they did what they did, but they never thought that we were ever going to become astute enough to recognize. Look at the cap. They never thought that mm-hmm. we're going to become astute enough to recognize that they're shenanigans, they BS, mm-hmm. and what they did. And it's in 1871. Did you know that America reincorporated in 1871?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Oh, you are back. Marcus, where you been hiding this sister at?
I mean, a couple of things. I am well educated. I do come from a family of educated historians, as a matter of fact. Right. So, I retained a lot of information over all these 44 years of life, and that's
I am. Excuse me. I'm excited to even hear you talk that way because I have to get into battles with people. Oh no! Listen, if you have not taken the time. The research, that's the reason why they have been playing us, okay? Mm-hmm. They know that we lack astuteness. The word astuteness is why mm-hmm. I put it out there. Astuteness means the ability to be able to assess, see it for what it is. But the second part is what we don't take to the next level, to turn to one's own benefit. It's like playing a game of chess. See, I know the game of chess. Mm-hmm. I allowed someone beat me 100 times, but I never gave up. I stayed in it. And then I remember once I started learning how to play better, I remember that person looked up at me and said, wow, you're doing something different. And I took notice. Oh, he still beat me in that game. But just the fact that he knew that I made some different moves mm-hmm. made me realize, I got him thinking. Mm-hmm. So I kept playing him until I beat him. That's what we got to do. We got to beat the dominant European culture in America, and we got to beat them in their game, and we got to beat them in business. Not looking for this welfare, listen, all right, I'm not here. I can get off on my little tangent and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, we could talk about, welfare and how that's, was set to, kind of eliminate black men from being in their
Right,
homes.
exactly.
Well, we can talk about a whole lot of things to do with that. But I think that you know, you got something going here. I like this.
Do you like Uncle Mishaw? Yeah. Am I
it.
dropping it like it's hot? Listen up. I want to go ahead and say some things right now. I think I looked and saw some of the people that you done already came here before me. Mm-hmm. A lot of them came here with their blackness. I'm gonna just say to you right now, and I want this was my controversial statement that I don't put it out there. Umar Johnson.
Well, that's a special character right there.
Umar Johnson. He's getting paid to stay black. Mm. He has no intention to change anything because he's getting paid to be in that way.
I disagree with he's getting paid to stay black. I disagree with that. I think that he like logistically, like in his own brain, right? He was settled in his space and his place, and that is him. I don't think that he is influenced by anyone but himself. I don't think that the only financial contributions that he would like somebody to give to him, it has to do with this school that barely opened.
I will not donate a penny to him.
But because I have encountered him several times, I do not believe that it has to do with any dollar amount. That's my personal opinion. But I understand why you would say that.
I'm speaking from a masculine man who have observation and understand that it's a known thing. This is why, being a military. You asked me earlier. I retired as an E7.
Okay.
Do you know?
Nice.
Do you know what that means?
Yes.
Okay. So, man, you are very.
I have quite a few family members who are high ranking in Navy.
So if you understand that I retired as an E7,
yeah.
you understand I got promoted by the President of the United States. My promotion is congressional promotion. They promote us because of the way that we think. Mm-hmm. We are our ability to think outside the box. Okay.
Yes, and I think that's applicable. I can say that was applicable with me as well. I was top executive in corporate America for 20 years.
Okay, great.
So I understand this game of like you were explaining earlier, like how to navigate with this team of people and this other team of people.
Exactly.
But I think that for me, I think my last year in corporate America, I was like, I think I'm a little bit too black for this. Like I can no longer navigate this. And I think that it got to that point because I needed to say something louder. And it was only, 4 of us in our position across the United States. So it just got to the point where I'm like, I have to speak louder.
So,
and this is dwindling my voice.
And I would like, Marcus, we're going to have to make sure that we do this as many times as possible because I want to sow into you that you don't see yourself black anymore. I want you. And
I want to say this. I'm definitely black. Okay. But I understand your perspective of what you're saying. I am black. Mm-hmm. I am a female. Mm-hmm. All right. I am a business owner. I'm a sister. I'm a wife. I'm several things. Mm-hmm. But I understand how to be a chameleon and just naturally be that way. I don't have to make myself be a chameleon. It's just natural that I can communicate effectively with all types of people in different avenues of life. It's just what it is. I went to white high schools.
Yes.
I went to a white college. My sister went to Southern University. She went to HBCU. But like I said, I was raised by a historian. I'm named after, the first black woman who owned a plantation in their town. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of different things.
So this is where my business partner Sharon said that me, Sean, they need to hear this story, and this you led right to where I need to drop this story at. Okay, why I totally dropped and will not allow myself to say I'm black any longer. It all started with the fact in my early childhood, but Dr. Noah Shelton wrote this book called America's Little Black Book, and I would like to send you a copy of that, America's Little Black Book. And in that book, he specifically laid out the idea that we were never black at all. Mm-hmm. We were enslaved, slave, American slaves, and then descendants of American slaves until we are American descendants of slaves after the 400 years. You understand 1619, 2019, that's 400 years. So from enslaved to slave, the descendants of American slaves to American descendants of slaves, every single one of those evolutions are our birthrights, birthplace, and inheritance that's been stolen from us because we have been led down. I try to get people.
So you're saying American versus like the title of black.
Right.
Right. I totally understand what you're saying. But I also think at some point we need to figure out what the hell it's going to be.
Okay, and so I'm going. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what my book is all about. My book is saying that we need to see you have to ask yourself, why would a people go out of their way when they're the most dominant people and name themselves white? Did they have to name them? Marcus, did they have to name themselves white when you running and you writing the legislation? You doing everything, and you go out of your way and name yourself white. You named yourself white. Then you turn around and name everybody else who's not white, NIGGER, black, and everything else. Why? Because the word slave is a business terminology. If we would have knew and understood, but we wasn't running things so culturally.
Right. Slave is almost like purchasing an item from Target.
Right, exactly.
Completely.
It's like a credit card. You had white folks.
I would say slave is like an item, a purchased item.
Right. It has equity in it. It has profitable in it. So when working in the dominant European environment in the operating room, I came to realize that after reading Dr. Noah's book, I didn't go to the black community and ring the doorbell and say, hey, I'm an American descendant of slave. I didn't go to them. You know where I went? I went in the middle of the operating room among my dominant European Americans, or American Europeans, and I said, look at here. How y'all doing? Y'all know I'm me, Sean. Yeah, good. I'm glad y'all here. Listen, I need to make an announcement. I want to let each and every one of you know right now, I am no longer your black. I'm not black. You know what? And I don't see you white. I am an American descendant of slave, and I want you to understand that. I was ready for someone to fight with. This older anesthesiologist man, he walked over to me, grabbed my hand and shook my hand and said, congratulations, you know who you are. It blew, that was 20 years ago. It made me realize that the dominant European culture know exactly who we are. We don't know who we are.
Right. And I think that was part of the plan.
No, it is part of the plan.
That's the plan, that we are supposed to be lost in that. But I think that at the same time, and we definitely going to have to revisit this at another time because this is getting good. But I do think that we have to figure out who that is and how we truly identify ourselves. But I think that it has been so jumbled and lost, and
How much time we got?
We got a very short time. Maybe let me see how many minutes we got here. We got about 6 minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop this in to delete it till the next time we come here.
Okay.
My mother sent me in the military to help me to become a masculine man. What I noticed when I came back from the military, I saw our men operating, and specifically, I learned how to lead men and influence women. You didn't catch that.
No, I catch it.
Yeah. And what I realized when I came back, when I came back from the military, culturally, our men have been operating feminine. The dominant European culture put us in a docile,
but for a reason.
But my point is that exactly. And so when I get in these discussions, and I'm gonna look at you, and I'm saying this to you, when I get into discussions with my sisters, and I'm just good, strong. I love that you're strong. I ask and I seek them to understand that it's important, and I've done this in the operating because I have the descendants of American, let's say, sisters in the operating room, and initially They had problems with my stance because they didn't understand. But now they understand. Wow, me showing, because I was showing them that I am a man as a king, and I know how to stand and be a king in this environment. And I got to bark, and I let everybody hears it. And so that's why I am where I am. I believe that it's time moving forward that we need a moral authority. And I'm asking the people to take a look at my book. Okay, I'm trying to be the moral authority in 2024, Uncle Michon. I'm trying to say to people that, listen, it's time for us. I'm not trying to revengeful. It's not about revengeful. It's about saying that we know who we are. And the men, I'm not here trying to get our women. Get out of the way, women. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. It's time.
Listen,
it's time for us.
You are
men.
preaching to the
It's time for us.
here.
It's the brothers, the men, husbands and fathers and uncles. I'm not looking for my woman to stand in front of me anymore. I need my woman to understand I'm looking. But you need to check those men who don't want to come correct. Because, Marcus, we got to check them, right? Marcus, right? We're going to have to check them, right? If you don't come correct, Uncle Michon will check you. So that leads to, please read my book.
As you should. Listen, I'm definitely about to check this out. You have got to do your due diligence and check it out as well. Tell the people where they can purchase your book.
Well, I want you to only go to UncleMichon.com. That's the only place.
So you get 100% of those dollars.
I want UncleMichon.com, and you can order my book from there. And check this out. I got to brag a little bit. Once you go to UncleMichon.com, you see a spot for Walmart. You see a spot for Target. You see a spot for Barnes & Noble. That's where I want you to order it from. That's it. You can go to Walmart.com, Target.com, and BarnesandNoble.com and order my book. And here's what I want everybody to know. I'm also the founder of God's Lives Matter. Now, you didn't even talk about that. That's a whole nother.
Sometimes you can't get to it all.
So God's Lives
There's only
Matter.
so many minutes in an hour.
So God's Lives Matter, I'm the founder of, and I would love to talk to that as another time. But I want you to know that my ultimate goal is to be an example of what having moral authority used to be for us culturally. Long time ago, culturally, we were the moral authority in this country. People used to look, the dominant European culture used to look to us because they knew they were doing us wrong, and they knew that they saw certain things in us that we used to make them do right just because they saw us doing right. Well, we have just fell off of that. It's time for us to turn that around in 2024. And I'm asking each and every one, if you will trust in the brand, Uncle Michon's brand, God's Lives Man, that's all under the Uncle Michon brand. I will not dishonor you all. I will not dishonor you all. I would do the best I can to do something great for us. And it starts in 2024. UncleMichon.com. Order my book. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com. And invite me to be back on this show as many times as you want me to come back. I want to come back and do this with you.
Definitely. And shout out to everybody who's in the comments. Y'all, I couldn't even get to the comments, okay?
Oh, there's comments?
There's plenty of comments
Lord,
here.
golly.
So shout out to all of you guys. And yes, so I'm going to revisit those comments as well. But I'm going to, you can catch the replay on this. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, as well as Facebook. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I want to do a shout out to also Antonio T. Smith. Okay, I mean, see, how can I do? Yeah,
you're good. You could put it right on the camera, just like that.
Antonio T. Smith, he's a new brother that who's blessed me, has blessed me, and blessed me. I'm glad. Yeah, you should look it up. Please look it up.
That's a handsome kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a little bit of Black Panther and what is it? What's that little wizard?
Okay. What is it? Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, Harry. This is a good book. Yeah. This is a good book, so I recommend you please go and check it out and everything. And I just want to say to you, thank you.
Thank you. And I'm excited to read this book, and I'm excited to have you back again.
Yes, and I look forward to it, and hopefully my wife will come back. Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, and next time your wife has to, she got to,
Yeah, she can come here. Now, she's not going to want to get on the camera.
No, she won't get on. She don't have to get on camera, but I'd like to definitely
you want to see
hear
who,
the behind the scenes.
You want to ask about you. Now, she want to meet my sister. She want to see my sister. But she want to know if my wife really a sister. That's what
no, I believe you. If you said it, you said, hey, listen, I believe what you say. It's what it is, but I'm glad I can tell you that. All right. But we will see you next time. All right.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in right here on Hot 702.5 FM.
Your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.